broad sense, the president makes decisions that are in the best interest of the country, and that's why he did the attack and the operation on Iran. He said
that alone is unheard of for Democrats. Are you kidding me? The best interest of the country? What? I mean, in relation to some of the other videos we've made recently, Democrats are more concerned with illegals and don't seem to care about American mothers and American Gold Star families.
Said during the campaign, and President Trump does what he said he was going to do. He said, we're not going to let Iran get nuclear capability. You cannot let this regime, who has killed so many people, who's killed Americans, Israelis, other people, thousands of their own people, you can't let them get a nuclear weapon. I mean, they're so bad. My background's in the sport of wrestling. Wrestling is big in Iran. Several months ago, they took this 19-year-old junior champion, one of their star athletes, up-and-coming athletes, 19-year-old champ, and because he was protesting, they hung him publicly. I mean, that is how evil they are. So do you want that regime who's been in the,
I mean, this is the country that allegedly has funded at least 3 different terrorist groups. I mean, this is what Iran does, right? They're not good people. They've talked for many years about destroying Israel. That's been their objective for a very long time. And, there are a few 100,000 Jewish folks in Iran a century ago, and now there's only maybe a couple thousand, I read. So that's pretty horrible as well.
The largest state sponsor of terrorism for 47 years. Do you want them having a nuclear weapon? Of course not. So the president's committed to getting done what he told the American people he was going to get done, including this amazing celebration we're having now. The 250 years of the greatest country ever, the new plane, everything that's going on here, the UFC fight a few weeks, on and on it goes. The president knows how to celebrate
winning
this special place we call America. Again, the greatest country ever.
It is the greatest country ever, and it is so wonderful to celebrate and to have you on the show today. Thanks for being here. This whole entire birthright citizenship issue with Supreme Court, I think it's almost just, I don't know, it feels like a fly in the ointment or something of our celebration here, because it feels like it's sort of an anti-American decision.
Well, I don't get it, because it just doesn't, I mean, everyone knows the 14th Amendment, when it was done, was to address the evil of slavery and the aftermath of the Civil War and making sure that kids born here were citizens. It's not for people who come in here, illegally enter the country, and then happen to have a child. I mean, that's not what it was for, and I think anyone with common sense understands. It's almost as bad as this crazy sanctuary jurisdiction policy. We had a hearing yesterday where we had Jessica Gorman talked about her daughter, Sheridan, who was murdered. I mean, it was
that was just so unbelievably sad. That was so unbelievably sad. Good for that mother for standing up for what's right. That was a hard thing to watch. And, I don't understand the Supreme Court's decision either. It doesn't seem you should just be able to fly here and then have your kid in America and then declare them to be an American citizen, And I think that countries that are trying to usurp our values might be doing the same thing with some other people. I mean, they had other military age people coming across the Mexican border, from many countries around the world, and that was a major problem. Fortunately, we've stopped that from happening. But
in Congress a long time, it was maybe the most powerful testimony coming from a mom, as only a mom could deliver that testimony. That was just amazing what she had to say. Just this special life this young lady had, and that was taken from her because of this illegal migrant and this ridiculous sanctuary jurisdiction policy, which says politicians telling local law enforcement, you can't work with federal law enforcement when it comes to enforcing federal law. That is just dumb. But that is exactly what's going on in almost a third of the country lives in one of these jurisdictions. And, of course, the consequences are what we saw yesterday from the testimony from Ms. Gorman and also Mr. Abraham, who's also lost a daughter in the same state, in Illinois, in the same state, with the same crazy policy. So, these they make no sense to me, and I think this will be a key element in this upcoming election. Crazy versus common sense. We're the
That's Sheridan right there, the lady that sadly passed away due to some degenerate behavior from an illegal
party of common sense policies. The left now, which controls the Democrat Party, is the party of crazy policy.
No, not just the left, the socialists. I mean, it's unbelievable to me that the Democrats, maybe it shouldn't be unbelievable, but it is kind of unbelievable that the Democrats are so pro-socialist. That's the most degenerate ideology probably in all of human history.
Yeah, just to punctuate what you're saying in case our viewers missed it, the Democrats were actually complaining about having to listen to the testimony.
Yeah, they couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe that they'd have to come in there 4 times, to listen to testimonies from these Gold Star mothers. Like what kind of behavior is that? It's just, if they think it's bad for their constituency, well, that says something bad. That says something about their constituency. Who's voting for Democrats if they don't want to hear about these poor mothers whose children were killed, at the hands of illegals and their own decisions? It's stupid behavior for these people to say, no human being is illegal. Obviously they are. You come here against the law, you break the law, you're a criminal, and you shouldn't be doing that. And it's not like we're saving a bunch of children. We're losing children while we are saving fraudsters, Somali fraudsters, and other criminals from other parts of the world.
Of these parents, that's what you're referencing there. I just wanted our audience to know. It's mind-blowing. Sorry, Bo, go ahead.
No, that's all right. That's a great point to make. Congressman, since the Supreme Court has permitted this birthright citizenship issue, which I think Justice Alito had a really wonderful dissent to, with you in Congress, how can you legislate this then? Because the ball may now be in your court. What can you do, and will you have support for it?
Yeah, we can look at doing some enforcement mechanisms on just immigration law. Certain things, for example, like you can't do what Joe Biden did, which is just let in 10 million people. So there's things we can do that we passed in a bill last Congress through the House, didn't make it through the Senate, but good legislation which reformed the asylum law, which limited this catch and release policy that Joe Biden had to come in and just release people into the country. All those things. So we can go back to doing the enforcement stuff, which I think is important for us to do, because just in case we get another Joe Biden in the future. President Trump secured the border and stopped all this, but if you get a Joe Biden and he goes back to those policies, if you don't have it in law, it makes it easier for them to be able to do that. So we're looking at that legislation. It's one of the things I think we need to pass. And then
we can't let Democrats win this fall. My goodness, we need to get out in full force and keep on voting. I don't know what's going to happen with Democrats. I feel like if they blatantly push socialism, it's going to push the moderates away from them and more people towards Republicans. But Republicans aren't doing what they need to do either, have not balanced the budgets in any capacity, and they need to get that done. That's a major problem right now.
Already passed a bill to deal with the sanctuary jurisdiction problem. We've already passed it through the committee. I think we can get this passed on the House floor and get that bill to the Senate as well.
Chairman, you think you have the numbers?
I do on those important. Now, the Senate's always the Senate.
There we go.
It's a different animal over there. So we'll see. They got the 60-vote rule, the 60-vote hurdle you have to overcome to get legislation through. But I think we should get it through the House and then see what we can do in the Senate.
Chairman.
Yeah, I was chuckling, not at you, Congressman, but at the prospect of, in the House, it probably will get through. But once it gets to the Senate, all bets are off. I don't know if anybody can predict what's going to happen there. So that's why I was chuckling. It definitely wasn't at you, Congressman.
Well, that's fine. You talk about lack of common sense. I do not get Democrat senators who won't vote for the SAVE Act, who won't support,
It's unbelievable. I mean, the SAVE Act is, hey, let's have some ID. We can show some ID. And, when we vote. What's wrong with that? I mean, it's quite discriminatory to believe that minorities can't get IDs, and that's what the Democrats are arguing. They shouldn't be arguing that. It's wildly inappropriate. It's wildly condescending. The SAVE Act needs to pass. These laws against sanctuary cities need to pass. But it makes you think that the Democrats really are engaging in fraud. I mean, like in another video talked about California, and their Stop Nick Shirley Act. I mean, come on. The Democrats are just blatantly going against fraud, right? I mean, going for fraud, defending fraud, and going against our attempts to stop fraud. And, I think that's correlated with their beliefs in their modern beliefs in socialism, because socialism is just forced collectivism, no individual rights, and not standing up for anything that matters. So it's unfortunate, but we're going to end the video there. You can check more out on that Jim Jordan website or from this Real America's Voice, good channel. Okay, like and share, comments make a huge help too for the channel. It's all appreciated. Have a great day.